a 4:30 session. So we have two speakers here to share their views and experience on the topic for cost control in construction projects. So it's about money, it's about calculation, and it's about costing. So we have our first panelist, Desmond Lee. So he's the Chief Marketing Officer for Global PCK Solutions in Berhad. So he's currently promoting the digitalization of construction procurement and contract management in Malaysia construction industry. So our second panelist for Top Women, she's a lawyer, adjudicator and panel with the Asian International Arbitration Center, AIAC, and arbitrator. And she's also the associate member of Master Builders Association Malaysia, MBAM, and she founded SpeedBrick Sdn Berhad to help contractors overcome the challenges they face. So SpeedBrick help contractors save up to 303 hours per month, also helps companies save hundreds of hours and improve efficiency by 300%. Wow, that's so good. So I would like to pass the floor to both of you.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Toby. Hi, Paymun. Here's me again.
That's one.
Hi. I guess following with the previous speaker, that we do agree that having this technology thing is actually creating a great impact and also positive changes on the construction industry. That's why Paymun and me together, we've been friends for years. Yes, yeah, it's plural now. What we're going to talk about today is actually on controlling the construction costs through the digitalizations of certain processes that we have. Then we're going to share about a little bit on my side right here when we'll be talking on construction procurements. So let me share my screen a little bit. Then, yeah, I hope it's shared. Right. So good afternoon again. My name is Desmond. Then I'm from BuildSpace, a Chief Marketing Officer for BuildSpace. So thank you for having me today. We'll be sharing on securing project profit through digitalizations of construction procurement process. I guess the reason why we are looking at construction procurement is basically procurement is the process of procuring and also acquiring goods and products and services from the external sources. So whether we are from property development companies or construction companies, so these are two of the most commonly used and also two of the common procurement types that we need to handle on a day-to-day basis. So tendering in the sense that it is used for specialized work. So that's why our main contractors and also main contractors use it to engage as subcontractors, and the developers is actually using it to engage contractors or even consultants sometimes. So it is usually low in volume, but extremely high in value in the context of construction industry. That's where purchasing, where it is used to acquire goods and services in generally lower in volume, but low in value, but sometimes it could be very high in volume, such as buying safety boots, some buying of our PPEs, or even construction materials, so on and so forth. So, but with all being said, for both tendering and purchasing, we'll have all the process, including like planning or supply management, selections of sourcing methods, submissions and evaluation, all the way until negotiation, contract management, or even sometimes we do a little bit about value and cost analysis, so on and so forth. So in this case, and I guess that's the reason why this afternoon, Paymun and I were actually looking at digitalizing our construction procurement process, and also to illustrate a little bit on the issues and also the reasons why this is quite important, as procurement usually has a direct impact on the cost of construction project, and it actually tied directly, closely to business profitability. I guess that's the main point right here. So in the situation where most of the construction contracts in Malaysia are actually fixed price contracts. So in order to take care of profit margin, so we're hoping that through effective and also efficient digital procurement system in place, the cost of construction itself and also the outflow of the cash itself can be also managed properly throughout the entire construction cycle. I guess for this few years, then going digital is viewed and also being perceived to be essential in the construction industry. And to simplify and to improve the lengthy and also the complex procedure of procurement is something that I think everyone should be looking into. So similar to other industries such as like banking institutions, such as manufacturing. So digital procurement can be applied when construction procurement is also adopting a similar way for to managing all this process right here, mainly to also automate a huge number of repeatable tasks and also to reduce the double handling works, to boost efficiency and also to reduce operational costs as well. I guess that's what we got a lot from our clients when during consultation and also during our discussion during the implementation. So this is something that all the contractors out there and also developers out there are looking into, looking for improvement. So what we have right here is to also to illustrate to everybody right here and on the current challenges that we have in procurement. Although some of this procurement process might not seem to have a direct relationship with the construction process itself and also the quality of delivery. But then again, the construction process actually relies 100% on the supply of materials and also the way we procure the specialist works or contractors materials, so on and so forth. Then it would definitely affect our way of managing our project planning, our cost variation, work programs. Sometimes if it's not managed properly, then this idling time and also the waiting time could be a bit longer. So that somewhat jeopardizes the whole program right here. So this all will be translating to a cost of construction cost silently and eats into our profit margin without much of the alarm being rang to the user if things are done manually and also traditionally. Like what we used to do last time a lot is we use Excel sheets. So things can only be noticed when our colleagues or even QS prepare a financial report. So usually those issues being identified in financial report is a bit too late, and usually they are mostly irreversible already. So that's pretty much explain the current situations that we have in construction procurement practices. But another term that we're looking at is actually on the cost of invoices in the procurement itself. Since we're talking about the project profitability, but then at the same time, we also need to look into the indirect costs will actually eat into our process itself. So based on our research that we have done, so all these reasons contributing to a high invoice cost right here. Just imagine with the amount and also the volume of invoices and also the work orders that we need to handle in a construction project, the overall accumulated additional cost is actually expensed on a project as part of the administration cost, and therefore reduce our profit in the particular project for construction works, or it can be for development works as well. So in order to take care of the net profit of the project, so besides controlling the direct cost itself, then indirect costs such as wastage of resources and need to also be taken into considerations with the whole digitalizations and automation along the process to increase our efficiency. And most importantly, I would say is to take care of the profitability of the entire business operations. So second point is here for the cost of invoice right here. And following then we're also looking at the chances and also the potential use of data when this e-procurement and also the procurement itself are being digitalized. So whether we're doing it traditionally or digitally, so it might seem no differences in terms of the stages into the entire process. We were looking at like vendor sourcing all the way until contract management and also quality compliance and also the performance evaluations right here. But if let's just say we are looking at it from the perspective and also speaking about the data that we can actually collect from the process itself, and if we use the data properly, and it can be it can be very valuable to our project as well as the organization as a whole. So we'll list down a few types of data that can be garnered from the process itself. And for example, we want to talk a little bit about the project financial data here. Usually what we would talk about in terms of a project cost, we'll talk about project cost data. But project financial data is actually on a bigger scope. Unlike cost data, it actually focuses on the claims amount from the client and the amount paid out to the contractors or sometimes the suppliers and also other vendors in that sense. So it covers wider spectrum in that sense. It doesn't really only tell things from the project BQ itself, from the bid out rate itself, but to a certain extent, it actually combines the total spending on e-tender and e-purchasing, and also to look into the whole picture in overall in terms of total spending to allow the user to see the margin of revenue for each of the project or the job taken in. So this is from the perspective of the contractors. I guess in this case, and it also does apply to the developers. It's just that the relationship and the stakeholder might be different. In this case, it could be from the sales of the property and also the paid out amount to the contractors. But anyhow, the whole flow and also the concept does apply for the entire procurements right here. So what we're looking at right here is when we are hoping that when the data has been leveraged in the process of project management, then we will see some sort of improvement in terms of our profitability. So of course, the first thing that we're looking at is actually the data harvest from the previous construction project after being analyzed. Then it can also help the user to identify the potential risk and problems, such as our potential issues in certain type of construction methods, and therefore an alternative construction sequencing can be planned ahead. So for this part then, my friend Premon here, then she'll be talking about data analytics later. So probably she will also share some insight right over here as well. So up next is when the data collection system is used in advanced data analytics, such as your AI and also your machine learning kind of thing. So more critical information and also the insights can also be provided to the user as early as project planning stage. So a client that we are working with now, right, they are actually using all the data captured in the procurement system we have used. They're actually using BuildSpace. So to channel into their Microsoft Power BI to connect with other data in other solutions they're having in the company. So to model out the data in the form of charts and also the graphs as well as to share the reporting. So similarly, we will say that the contractor can also use it to address the potential issues, including our site coordination issues, or basically to resolve conflicts between parties and trades. And it is actually believed that with the data insights will help a lot in reducing all this cost and also time overrun. Next, we're looking at this possibility of using data to also eliminate the construction waste, as it is also reflect directly itself on the project cost and therefore the project profit. We are looking at the construction waste to be generated worldwide every year in year 2025 to be 2.5 billion tons per year. So in this case, if let's just say we relate it back to our local construction industry and also to the level of each individual company, so there's actually a lot of things we can start to take care of. And of course, we can make use of digital solutions to assist us on this part as well. So since we're looking at sharings of plants and machineries and its idling time as well, then of course we can also look at the use of data collected from this equipment to improve the productivity. And with high volumes of data, then probabilities and also patterns can be also forecast to simulate different scenarios to be incorporated into BIM 4D. We're actually talking about BIM 5D, although BIM 5D is actually part of the course itself. But if let's just say we'll talk about construction planning, then most of the data can be used during planning stages actually to help the user in planning the construction sequence. That's why in this case, then we will say BIM 4D, and the proper planning of BIM 3D and 4D would eventually translate into our cost saving in BIM 5D. So Up next, we're looking at we're looking at something frequently been discussed and also been brought out by local construction industry. That must be ESG. So we're looking at the possibility of having digital solution in place, and where data accumulated in the system is less likely to be modified and stands a stronger point when being audited with full digital footprint and working logs. So it can also make the data set to be contributed by the organization itself to be more trustworthy in that sense. And it can also be more reliable and to basically help our developers and also contractors to engage investors and bankers to fund the project, and therefore to take care of the bottom line, which is the project cash flow, and most importantly, the profit itself. I guess the whole thing right here we'll try to share based on this chart is to share with everyone right here how data from this construction procurement solution will be able to help in terms of profit. So of course, there's digital solutions that we can actually look at. So if let's just say you're looking around, then to have the digital solutions to assist you in taking care of the project profit, of course, we're looking at a solution where it will also increase the data visibility and also the availability. And most importantly, it does have a BQ to also monitor the basis of your cost for construction project, and to pair with the construction workflows right here and allow the users to collaborate in whether they're working from home or whether they are working from different job site right here. So I guess it's pretty much that we are sharing on the high level preview kind of thing. Then we just want to take this opportunity to also explain a little bit of what we are doing. So BSpace is actually a procurement solution where we aim to help construction industry to achieve organizational data transformation through digitalization of construction procurement process. So for the time being, then our clients is using BSpace eProject and ePro, where the key user can be property development developers all the way until SME contractors. And next year, we're also going to launch our very own BSpace procure-to-pay solutions, where we will also introduce a new role of buyers and sellers. So in the aim of to combine and also to prepare the platform for the users to manage a procurements and construction contracts and purchasing contracts in the one digital platform right here through a single sign-on. So ultimately, with the data that we collect and accumulate in digital platform, we allow the user to use it for further analytics and hopefully to be able to meet cost prediction like what Quimon is doing at this point of time. So she will be also sharing on her insights to elaborate further on managing workflows in procurement, then potential data analytics, and also contractors to also share a bit about her experience in change management as part of digital transformations. I thank you for now. Then I think I can straight away pass into Quimon.
Thank you, Desmond. Thank you so
Welcome.
much. That's a very great presentations.
Thank
now,
you.
Desmond, can you just stop share so that I can share my
screen?
Yeah. Thank
sure.
you. Good afternoon, everyone. If you are staying here, it's almost 5 and you are still staying with us, means you are finding this topic very interesting. It's always interesting to talk about money. I wonder who doesn't like about money. So I hope all of you love money, because I am the money maker. I love to talk about money. Just a brief background about, today we talk about cost control, we talk about digital procurement, we talk about how to secure construction profit. It's everyone's dream in the construction industry. We want to deliver project on time, within budget. In reality, delay and over budget is happening every day. Have you gone through a project which is you actually gain you can actually secure your margin? In Malaysia, right, I am being made aware that the construction margin we are looking at right now is a single digit. Okay, but we still have around 5 to 8% lah, not that bad. I just got back from the UAE. I met up with some of the very big contractors over there. You want to guess what is the contractor's margin in UAE? We are talking about less than 1%. Less than 1%. I was shocked. I am actually very shocked. And with COVID pandemic coming on, and then we are with the Ukraine war, material costs hike. What is the contractor's way? So in Malaysia, we're looking at data of 2,000 local contractors when burst, or if you are in the construction industry, you are either delaying paying other people or you are being delayed on your payment. Then the question is, what can we do to secure our profit? The questions I always ask is, today, if you know you will lose money, will you actually continue the project? But the challenge is, we don't know whether we are losing money. We don't know. It's always too late. So I talk to contractor, hey, contractor, do you know whether you are making money or not? The contractor is very confident one. If I'm not making money, what am I doing here? I'm running a business. I must be making money. Then you ask in detail. So this project, how much profit you are making? That project, how much profit you are making? On paper, it's always making money one. During final account, during final account, which is usually 2 or 3 years later, the project finish, right? Or you count, shit, the figures is not right. And look at the margin of very, very low. So how can we secure our margin? Okay, first thing, of course, obvious thing, control spending, control how you buy your material, how you pay your subcontractors. This is very difficult. Everyone says the same thing. But to actually do a proper control is very difficult because we are dealing with human beings. We are dealing with large set of data. Imagine you're building a 400 million projects, a 500 million projects, and you want to consolidate all the data into one platform. That is very difficult. Talk is easier. So the idea is to streamline the processes. Manual processes is not going to help you. If you are still doing manual, wherever you guys are here, forget about leveraging on the cost of data. Today, I'm just emphasizing and preaching that you must streamline your processes on your spending. Number one, how you spend money on your procurement, streamline process on how you issue your certificates to your subcontractors, streamline the process on how you collect money from your clients. Because by streamlining all the process, you can leverage on your data. When your data is in the same platform, you can do a lot of fun stuff. You can buy better because you know whether you are going to waste your money. You can look at risk. You can even predict risk. Then with the answer in front of you, you know that if you continue to purchase, complete this project, you will be losing 10%. Would you actually continue? Yep. So let's talk about, I should prepare a video, but we don't have time for that. So just now, Desmond talked about digital procurement. I'm going to disagree with Desmond a little bit.
No problem.
It's not just about digital procurement. It's about data-driven digital procurement process. What do I mean by this? So we all know everything starts from budget. QS have put in the budget, so you're utilizing your budget data. But this budget data, right, is sitting in your computer, someone's computer. It's never being leveraged. When you buy material, do you know you're buying within or exceeded your budget? So by leveraging data-driven procurement process, when site order material, he instantly know that he is buying within budget or exceeded budget. Then the question is whether he will continue to buy. Because 30% of the wastage is because of overbuying. Very simple to know. How, if you don't know whether you're wasting money on procurement today, project finish, count how many lorries of material you bring back. Easy. Second stage is when there's an over budget alert for site supervisor and he ignore it, right? What is your project manager or the person in your manager doing? Today, right, they are blindsided. They got no data in front of them. But when you put data in front of them, this project is already over budget by 10%, 20%. The same material, they actually continue to buy. The same thing goes to the purchasing. And for purchase, right, it's leveraging data to buy the correct material. 4% of the time, right, we buy the wrong material. Because why? Site people and purchaser, they are not speaking on the same language. I want a besi 3 hun, a nail, and then the further by 3 inches. So there is a miscommunications between these two parties. Using digital procurement process, you can streamline the conversations because you are leveraging on a database. And of course, when the ultimate gatekeeper of the company is always the management, the procurement officer. If you know that you are exceeding your budget, how many percent would you actually continue to buy? Today, I can tell you with my experience, you will still continue to buy. Because, right, cost control is two chunk. There's many misconceptions. When I talk about over budget, right, I'm not talking about amount, I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about quantity. Because when you talk about over budget, right, you're talking about, many people have the mindset that it's about money. So material price hike, really, what can I do? I still need to buy this amount of quantity. So money is one chunk, but quantity control is very, very important. All of us must understand that. And when it comes to, just now, Desmond touched about delivery order and invoicing. Using technologies, you can already automatically match the data. The question is, when you have your invoice data, when you have your DO data, what are you going to do?
Right.
So in SpeedRate, what we do is that we automatically tell you whether you're within your exit budget, number one. Number two, will tell you in real time how much money you are spending or you're going to spend for your material. You then get a very clear view of what's going to happen. And of course, work eliminations is very important because no one loves to use a data entry solutions. Data entry solutions will not work. I have a lot of clients that have procured very, very impressive solutions, impressive on the surface, but when it comes to actual usage, it's all about dealing with the people. I'm going to talk a little bit more. Everyone talk about centralizing platform, a centralized platform for every department to work. That is a very nice and fantastic idea. But how to get this done, in actual fact, is your workflow. Today, everyone is bypassing a manual workflow. Companies should go workflow, but can you bypass? Yes, it can be easily bypassed. But is there such a way that you don't bypass? Then you have you are becoming too rigid. Or without my boss approval, I cannot order this material. I need 3 people to approve. Only I can buy. How do you then track your risk in the same time monitor your cost? We have an answer to that. Want to find out more? Come and talk to me later. So apart from streamlining your procurement, it's also on streamlining how you collect money and how you pay money to people. So if I have more time, I can share more. But what we find is that tracking of your billing and tracking of your certifications is very important. Let's talk about data now. Data analytics is fun. It's very, very fun. Imagine today, you can predict, you can build your own cost library in your company. You would know that these are all the material I've purchased before. These are the average rate I've purchased. For Selangor, this is the rate. For KL, there's the rate. For Sabah, that's the rate. For this project, average purchase rate is this one. Then you will be able to know that when is the price hiking? When is the price coming down? So we work with the government to develop a material price trend. Right now, we allow contractors to see your price trend, your cost library. And this is just on the surface, but the deep down inside is, if you are buying the same material, how do you know which supplier is giving you the best price? You should know the data is sitting somewhere on the paper, but with technologies, right, you would be able to see, this supplier, for the past 12 months, I buy this much from him, and he give me this price. That supplier, I buy this much from him, and he give me this price. And this data, you will be able to negotiate for a better price. And next year, I'm going to buy this much of material. I want you to give me a better price. How many percent you can give me more? You can even negotiate on your credit terms, because data, we're talking about actual data. Sometimes you talk to people, people say, hey, where God, no such thing. But when you take data and put it in front of the suppliers, right, you can squeeze a lot more price out. I hope there's no suppliers here. Let's talk about budget thing. Okay, we talk about share market, right? We love the share market. We got price go up, then price come down. In construction, it's different. You know? When we buy material, right, price go up is bad news. Price come down is good news. But how do you know is price go up or price come down? You don't know. You know that newspapers say master builder is shouting 40% of material price hike lah. 100%, steel pricing go up by 100%. But what is the impact towards your project? You don't know. You can only estimate. I have a client that tell me, oh, Puiman, just by material price hike, I lost 40 million. 40 million? Then I ask him, how you count? How you count 40 million? I estimate, estimate. Is it really losing of 40 million? We don't know. We don't know because you cannot see, there's no data. So what Speedbreak actually analyzed and is able to do, right, is to tell you your budget unit rate is how much you are buying in terms of the PO, and what is the market price movement for each and every purchase. This will actually allow you to decide when you want to buy, when is the best time to buy, when is not the best time to buy, and most important, you are able to anticipate. Let's talk about all this data thing. Is it really save money? Actually, no one knows. No one knows.
All right.
Can. But how much? How much are we looking at? Talk about amount. Talk about data. How much? If you're assuming 100 million, do you know how much overbuying that risk that we are taking, buying wrong material that we are taking just on material and subcontractors? Average up, right? We are looking at by going digital, utilizing data, you can make more money. At least 3 million. Depending on how big is your company, the bigger you are, the more money you make. It's not actually making, it's securing your profit. Your profit is supposed to be there, but now instead of putting the money into your pocket, your money is becoming sand, becoming concrete, becoming rebar. So another thing is that why do we want to go digital? To promote this also, we'll talk about securing your profit. It's also on, can you do more with less? How many more projects you can take? Market is already very bad, but they are always projects. So we talk about cash flow, right? Contractors always take new project to cover their overhead. And then you have people issues, you cannot hire people, good people anymore. But let's talk about how much time you can save by going digital. Our track record, we just did, it's 1,500 hours per month. Average, we save our clients at 200 to 300. That is very, very typical. Last week, we did a new case studies. It is a saving of 1,500 hours per month. There's over 100 days of saving. So that if your company right now is 100 million, right, you can utilize the same people to help you deliver a 200 million project. Okay. All this is backed by data. We have all the data to actually show you how it is. So my time is up. Let me just do a quick summary. My pitch is standardize your workflow, consolidate all your data, so that your tech, either BI or Power BI, will be able to analyze your data. Most important, one more thing I forget to mention is that risk alert is very important. When you are looking at a report at the end of the day, right, you know that you lose money, right? It's already too late. Cost control of securing margin, right, happens every single day. Every single tiny decisions that you make will cost you your money. For instance, today, ABC buying the same material, they over-order already. If you didn't pick that up on that day, right, that is over-order happens at the very early of your project that you didn't know. Every time when you finish construction project, it's already 2 or 3 years later. Fast track project, we're looking at 6 to 8 months later. It's already too late. You already waste your money. Use the solutions that can give you risk alert, tell you, hey boss, you're wasting money. Very important. Reports, do you know how much time you're spending on preparing reports? Seriously. I have clients before Speedbreak, they hire 9 people to generate reports. Probably it's the company, 9 people generate reports for them. This is a loss of, and reports always got a lot of issues and a lot of problems for them. Reports should already be automated. You shouldn't even hire people who want risk alert in real time. Your financial S curve should be in front of you in real time. in real time, you must know that today I spend this much of money, I'm buying this much of, these are my risk. You are supposed to know that. That is the basic, if you want to survive in the next 10 years. And then here comes the future. What is the future? Future is about prediction. But I have these conversations with a Singaporean, very famous software provider. We discussed about predictions. And then he challenged me and he asked me, so everyone talks about prediction in the market. But all these predictions, he say, is bullshit. It's bullshit. Because predictions, you will never be able to predict the market. Who would have thought World War III is coming? Who would have thought Malaysia election will result in a hung parliament? You wouldn't know. Who would have thought PAS won 49 seats? My God. You wouldn't know. So you can't predict, but what you can is you can anticipate. How to anticipate? There are many ways. First thing, based on my experience, you can anticipate how much more material you need and what is the cost based on today's market rate. If you continue to purchase your material at today's market rate, are you going to make money or lose money? What is the material price hike impact you can anticipate? What is the remaining cost that you are going to pay your subcontractors? You can anticipate. Taking all these figures and your potential income, one more thing you can anticipate is your client, how long have they not paid you? How many months have they under-certified you? You can also anticipate. And you can, based on this, you would be able to act better, do better. I guess this is the summary of my talk, but before I finish off, one thing I want to say. So I'm in the journey of trying to lose weight, be more healthy. I thought I'm very healthy. Okay. Then my friend bought me a watch. So I wear the watch. Then I realized, right, every day I'm only walking my less than 2,000 steps. Less than 2,000 steps. I'm like, shit, I walk less than 2,000 steps. Because of this data, I now am able to, I become very OCD about how many steps I take. It's because this data is telling me you are not exercising enough, you are not going to lose weight. Same thing happens to running our companies. Imagine this, we are not running small companies, we are talking about hundreds of millions, even billions. How are you going to run your companies with a manual process without leveraging on the power of technologies and data? So there goes my presentations. Desmond, what do you think about my presentation?
I do agree at certain points, yes, because it was just saying just now if let's just talk about, say, if we're still doing it a manual way, then we definitely can't move on. And also the hire people to actually preparing report. And these are the part where cost should have been saved and transfer into the profit in that sense. So I do agree in that sense. And most importantly, and also the data that to remind you as a user basis to actually make a better decision along the way. Yeah, I think in this case, then we have a bit of time here. Then we have two questions right here from the floor. I suppose everyone prefer to remain anonymous. I'll just read out the questions and then perhaps we'll have a bit of discussion here. The first one was saying, how does it capture quality issues here? Then it may be cheap in that sense, then it may be cheap, but if 100% reject, then it's not used. So Toby, you would like to answer this question live?
No, I have to process so that you guys already answered. Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, then probably I'll just share my 2 cents and with this a bit of time here with Quimon, and perhaps Quimon can chip in. I guess in this case, then what our BSpace is currently doing is that we do have vendor management modules where we help our clients to pre-qualify and also to pre-register the vendor based on the project track record. So in this case, and although what we're trying to do here is to prevent the not qualified one to be invited for all the procurement exercise. Then to link back with what Quimon has shared just now, like their solution is also capturing all this data from the sellers. In this case, then we can always monitor their supply and also the quality of the work delivery. But most importantly, like the chart that Quimon has shared just now, is that they actually have workflows where it starts with the QS. So what QS has in hand is usually either the drawing or the BQ. So the specification and also the details of the material should actually start from there. Perhaps Pimo can also chip in a little bit.
I think quality, there are solutions that will capture quality issues.
Right.
When material arrive, you can actually record, oh, there's a quality issues and you are rejecting the item. So this is already in the solutions. There are many other solutions out there that is able to do a quality control as well. So I don't think this is a major issue. Yeah.
Correct. We get another questions right here. Probably then we need a bit of advice from Clement. Does it include itemized costing, for example, like shipping, tax, as most material are also imported? So how about multi-currency this case? Would you want to share a bit about your
I assume that it's targeted to my solutions.
I know.
Definitely a shipping tax a basic of procurement solutions. You must shipping tax as well as multi-currency. Yes, SpeedBreak is we have clients from Singapore as well. Multi-currency is a must because when you buy materials, most of my clients, they will buy overseas materials. The fun part is the conversion part. When we have time, we can actually discuss more about the integrations of how we turn the currency to push the data into your accounting solutions. Correct currency. Yeah. I think the public questions is there. I actually have a question to Desmond. You are here, right? So we specialize in constructions or contractors. SpeedBreak, I deal day in, day out with contractors for the past 10 years. My question is, I know how contractors save money, can secure their margin. What about developer? How can we help developer to secure their project profit margin?
In this case, then, of course, if from the background that I'm coming from, of course, we're looking at the property development developers where they actually income is from the home buyers in this case, I would just say most of the portfolios that they have. So in this case, then, some of the contractor is doing, of course, they are comparing prices in between the contractors and the co-tenders, so to suppress the awarded contract sum. This is number one. And second thing is for the new strategy partnership with the suppliers, then they call it strategy sourcing. Then some of our clients is also using it to sort of secure. I think we got one news and from recently, one developer is actually having some partnership with Samsung. So for the rest of the project, they're actually using Samsung electronic supply, electronic appliances. So that could be one of the strategy sourcing that a developer is actually using. I guess that is what's happening in local construction industry now.
I see.
Right. We have a lot to talk to, but I guess we need to put it to a stop and pass it back to Toby.
Yeah.
Toby,
thank you so much for the speech.